Hey y'all, welcome to today's reading. So today we're going to be embarking on part 2 of the Zeus series that I have going on in my channel, where I'll be tapping into people that are associated or affiliated with the Zeus network and tapping into their energy. It's a very popular network and they've been viral several times, and you may or may not be familiar with them, but if you're familiar with Jocelyn Cabaret and Baddies and Natalie Nunn, then you're already going to be familiar with the Zeus network. In today's reading, I'm going to be tapping into the CEO, Lemuel Plummer, into his energy, as well as Scotty, or Scotland is her real name. So as you're probably aware or may not be aware, they are together, and Scotty does expect a child with him sometime this year. They actually had a gender reveal about a month or so ago where they're having a baby girl. So congratulations to them. And when I tapped into the energy of their relationship, Spirit immediately gave me an answer to them, and it was from the title that I put in for this video, from SD to BD, which is from sugar daddy to baby daddy. Oh, and all things I'm going to say in today's reading are alleged, so take with that what you will. And I do have a disclaimer in my description box, so everything discussed in this reading will be coming through intuitively and for entertainment purposes only. Okay, so I just wanted to say that before we get started. But yeah, I'm going to be just tapping into their energy overall on the relationship, because they have went viral for a couple of things where people are saying that because Scotty is sober, the relationship dynamics have changed a little bit in the public eye, and we're starting to see the image break a little bit, I guess you could call it. We're starting to see more of the truth of how she really feels about him, because it just feels a little fake when they started being more public, and you're starting to see more through the facade of the relationship. But I think a lot of people could really read between the lines. And so I just want to tap into their current energy, how they view the relationship, what's challenging them individually. And then also I do want to see what the outcome of the relationship will be later this year. Once a couple does have their first child together, the relationship can shift a little bit. So I want to see what that energy is going to look like down the line. Always, I'm going to start with some oracle cards, and then we'll get into the tarot cards. First, I'm going to look into their current energy, and then I'm going to tap into how they view one another from the relationship perspective. So I do have their zodiac court cards out. So Scotty is an Aquarius, and then we also have Lemuel, who is an Aries. So first I'm going to look at Scotty's energy. So first we have cock blocking for her current energy. And then I also pulled photo proof. So we have caught in the act, evidence saved, truth in plain sight. Okay, I'm going to pull one more. So we have moving here. And then I pulled a fourth card, which we have copycat, steals your ideas, duplicates your style, feeds off your creativity. Huh. Okay, so as I'm like channeling their energy of her, because the photo proof to me, this card was immediately giving me that she knows about his infidelity. She knows how he is. She's seen him do certain things. Essentially, she knows him for who he really is behind closed doors. And she's not new to, I heard the word sexual prowess and deviancy. So she knows how he runs game, and she knows how he is with women. So I don't think that's really anything new. The moving part, I'm really not surprised about. Maybe this could be her moving out, her not wanting to live with him. I don't really know their living situation. Maybe they're distant from one another physically right now. So I'm not really sure what this is, but we'll tap into it in a second. Cock blocking, like I said, it just gives me, she knows his ways. She knows how he is. She knows that if she, I was getting a visual of her like knowing where he is and what he's doing, and her calling him in the middle of whatever he's doing because she knows he's doing some dirt. I don't know. Have you guys seen the music video for Say My Name by Destiny's Child? And the guy was in a limo and she's calling him like, where are you at? What you doing? He's fronting like he's, I can't remember if he was like with his friends, but she's like, say my name then. If you're not doing anything, say my name. So it's kind of giving that type of energy where she may have been put in a position where she knows like, all right, he's in the streets, he's doing something he has no business doing, and she calls him in the middle of it because she knows she can. And maybe even tries to catch him in the act because you have photo proof. And then the copycat is interesting because I wasn't really sure what to make of this card, but immediately it gave me, I'm going to give you the same energy that you give me. Not necessarily in a cheating way, but how he ignores her calls, her text messages. He may act irritable with her on the call or on the phone and text messages. It's almost like whatever energy you give me, I'm just going to give you that same energy. That's what it's giving to me energetically. And she's peeping game. She's really feeling out what he's putting down. And maybe she's starting to see more of him now that she does have a child with him coming. With a child, it does, like I said, put a different perspective on one's relationship. So yeah, I think she is like flipping the tables on him a little bit. All right, so now I'm going to tap into his current energy now. We're switching from Scotty to Lemuel. All right, so what's his current energy? And if you already haven't checked out my part 1 video for the Zeus Network series, I'm going to go ahead and put it up in the top corner, so you can quickly go to that video. I feel like some of the cards that came out for part 1 may or may not come out today, since I only did that video a couple of weeks ago. What is the current energy? I have 3 cards that jumped out. We have Too Busy Winning, that was at the top. So perhaps right now his network is doing really good. As we know, it's very popular. They go viral every week when they have episodes. And so, yeah, it's very successful. He may have different ventures coming up that he's about to announce, if not already. So, yeah, I think they're doing good financially, at least. Interestingly enough, the second card that I have is Groupie. And look at all those women in the picture. And you guys, this is his current energy. And I believe in part 1, I did mention, I believe that he was still talking to other women, allegedly, because I did have a lot of court cards come out for the reading. And even in the reading, I just was channeling like Diddy energy for him and allegedly freak off type of energy. So yeah, this seems pretty on brand for him. We got the Groupie card, and then we have Clout Hungry. Viral or nothing, lives for attention, makes shit up for drama. And this card made me think about a live that they did on Instagram where it felt like he was trying to get a rise out of her because she wasn't giving him the same energy, I guess, that she's given him before, where she's like excited. It seemed like she was just very cut and dry with him. I feel like sometimes he may be digging, or what's the word? He may be negging her a little bit in a way to some degree, but he also wants the attention on him. Like he wants the spotlight. And remember, I said in part 1, to me, he gives off this very cool, calm, business-like demeanor, but he definitely has like a flip side to him. All is not what it seems, you guys. At least from my perspective, allegedly. And if you're familiar with the King of Wands energy, it's a very in the spotlight type of energy. So yeah, I think that's all I really have as far as them energetically. Actually, I'm not surprised about either of them. So one more question I do want to pull for both of them is, outside of the current energy here, how do they perceive one another as it pertains to their relationship? And again, I'm going to start with Scotty's energy. So how does she view you guys? Oh my god, wow. This is pretty crazy because the card that jumped out is Ain't Shit. And then the second card I pulled out is Romantic Love Affair, Secret Lover, Passion Over Loyalty, Sex Fix. And like I said, when I had Photo Proof come out, it's like, it feels like she knows what he does behind closed doors. She knows because she's been there, allegedly. And when I say been there, I mean in the way of, allegedly, there were rumors when he was with his last wife, Miss Janisha John, which I'm considering doing a video on her separately. There were allegedly rumors that he was cheating on her with Scotty, and those rumors had been flying for a very long time. And eventually, they started saying that they were no longer together. And then that's when you enter them announcing that Lemuel and Scotty were officially together. And like I said, she knows how he is. She knows that he does things behind her back, but she's in it now. And then at the bottom, look, bad reputation. Like I said, she knows how he gets down. So I'm not surprised. The Ain't Shit actually tickled me a little bit. Let's pull one more card for how she perceives him, just to make sure we're right on track. Look, Haunted, Memories, Flashbacks, and then we have Scarcity Tactics. So the Haunted is, to me, pretty in line with the energy of, like I said, she knows how he gets down, and she's not new to this. So, but the Scarcity Tactics, like I heard threatening type of energy. So perhaps he has in the past threatened to take different things away from her. I know that he buys her a lot of things, and that's why it's titled Sugar Daddy to Baby Daddy, allegedly. But maybe he has threatened to take things from her, whether it be her bags, her clothes, her money. I heard financial abuse. And then at the bottom, look, ignoring. We have left unread, avoiding messages. So, like I said, this is how she's perceiving him again. And I just keep feeling like she knows game. I just keep hearing she knows game. All right, so now we're going to transition over into how he is perceiving her from the relationship perspective. First card we have is Dirt Digging, Snooping for Secrets, Trying to Expose You, Tables Might Turn. As I'm channeling, I'm getting the energy of, I just heard receipts. So like I said, with the Scarcity Tactics and along with Dirt Digging, it's almost like he could use things against her. And with the Dirt Digging, he knows her secrets too. They all have secrets. I mean, we saw that from the Natalie and him reading that I did on part 1, but he could expose her as well. And I feel like that also plays a part into why she hasn't left him. All right, so I'm trying to make sure you guys can see everything on the table. I'm trying to like get my setup together so that everything looks cohesive. So it might not look the best over the next few videos, but I promise I'm working on it. Oh, and before I pull any more cards, look at the bottom. We have Forcer, push your energy, crosses your boundaries, get what they want by any means necessary. It feels like there's some abuse allegedly involved in this from his perspective. Abuse does not always mean physical, but there is some type of, I suspect, emotional, financial. I heard blackmail. And then I see rejected, ghosted hard, ignored, erased. So As it pertains to the relationship and how he views it, like I said, this automatically made me go back to the copycat card where I said she's giving him the same energy that he was giving her. Obviously, he doesn't like it. Ooh, we got wolf in sheep's clothing. You know, I'm gonna pull one more card because I pulled this card more so for how he views her. But I feel like with this pregnancy, he really is starting to see that she's not all bark. She does have some bite. I feel like when you're so kind and nice and a people pleaser to people, they take advantage of you and they don't realize that yes, I am kind, I am nice, but don't take advantage of me. Don't take that for granted. I can definitely switch up and show you the other side of myself. And I feel like she's starting to have to fight for herself. Maybe not so much fight like physically, you guys know what I mean, but it's more of like stick up for yourself. And if you're dealing with someone that's a narcissist, allegedly, they're gonna definitely view you as the bad guy. And I feel like for me, I just heard it's funny how the tables turn. So yeah, I just get that she's probably sticking up for herself a lot more because she has to. She really, I saw in my mind, she has a baby to think about. And then this card tried to pop out is wasting time, stuck, no changes, limited. That's very interesting, at least from his perspective. So let me channel that a little bit more. As I was channeling, I heard the word granted. I think he is taking her for granted. I don't think that he views her as someone that is going to leave him alone, at least not currently in their energy. Yes, she is standing up for herself, but I don't think he's taking her seriously. I feel like he's not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop taking you for granted until you leave them alone or exit the situation. So that's what it feels like. He doesn't think she's gonna leave him, at least right now. And then I just got the message like, okay, this is how the message came through, but this is not how I talk. Did he purposefully plant a child in her to keep her with him, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only? It's a very toxic relationship overall. I don't know how old they both are. I believe Scotty's in her late 20s. I'm not sure how old Lemuel is, but I wonder what the age difference is between the two of them because it almost feels like a very immature, toxic relationship, but with people that have money. It just feels so toxic and she can do so much better, but between him being controlling and abusive allegedly, it just feels like a toxic game. As I'm looking at the copycat card, it just feels like tit for tat energy. Scotty, if you're listening to this, which you probably are never going to listen to this, but I just heard in my mind there's a warning for you that you need to get it together before you have this baby. Like, I just heard like she needs to get it together before this baby comes. I don't know when her due date is. Like, I literally said warning before it gave me that sentence. And then at the bottom, we have thief. And as you remember, the last card that I pulled was for his energy, but then I looked at the bottom and Spirit said he's a thief of her time. Okay, so I'm actually going to leave this as it is on this table. I think this is pretty self-explanatory about the energy that they currently have right now. So I don't really feel the need to pull any more cards. If you guys have seen someone go through a toxic relationship, then this is nothing new. Yeah, it just feels like a regular drama-filled toxic relationship, but with people with status, essentially. So let me fix this. All right, so now I'm going to switch over to the tarot cards. First question I want to ask is to piggyback on how they view one another. And I'm going to start with Scotty's energy and how she views him from the relationship perspective to clarify. Is Two of Pentacles. So we have someone that is looking at pictures of women and trying to decide which one to go with. He has a family and he has a single woman he's looking at. Two of Pentacles is like balancing type of energy. But we have the secrets here, which is the moon. And look, we have a siren calling him to the water. So she views him as someone who is trying to, I feel like, balance his options. And when I say his options, I mean women. And she knows what she's gotten herself into. She knows he deals with multiple women. And at the bottom of the deck, we have Nine of Swords, which can signify someone who is depressed, has anxiety, they're up in their head about it. So yeah, I think sometimes, some days, it does probably take over for her mentally, knowing that her man is out here in the streets, essentially. She knows there are more secrets around his infidelity than even herself knows. But she doesn't know everything as far as who all he is allegedly messing with behind her back. All right, we got Three of Wands. Then we have Three of Pentacles. And then Nine of Wands. Before I finished shuffling, I did see the Magician and Four of Wands try to pop out, and that could be trying to manifest a family type of energy. At least that's what it was giving to me. And like I asked earlier, the download that I was getting, well, the question was, did he intentionally plant this baby in her to get her pregnant? Now that I pulled Three of Wands to Three of Pentacles to Nine of Wands, a lot of wand energy, right? That could be a phallic symbol. There was definitely some manifestation going on here when the relationship, maybe at the onset or like early, I would say pre-pregnancy up until they announced that they were together. It just feels like this is something that she was happy about. She wanted this relationship to flourish and she enjoyed being in this relationship with him, or at least their dynamic. And then they were starting to get very serious. They were collaborating with money. He was keeping her satisfied. Her ships were coming in. She has this visual of what the relationship would look like because they were collaborating together on different projects. And she's been on Baddies for several seasons, even throughout the rumors that have been going on for a long time. But at the same time, I don't think that she realized how hurt she was going to get in the end. And by the end, I mean up until she got pregnant, or maybe even now. But I feel like even at the early onset, things were going great, at least from her perspective. Not perfect, but the situation was working out with how they were working together as well as the relationship. But I honestly do not believe that she thought that it was going to turn out like this or that she was going to get hurt this way, which is very interesting considering if a man is cheating on his wife with you, as the old saying goes, how you get them is how you lose them. And I feel like that's why Spirit was warning her in the last set of cards. Just as I said a moment ago when I got that warning that she needs to get it together before the baby comes. So yeah, I just don't think that she expected her to get hurt this way or maybe even this hard by him. So now I'm going to look into his energy and how he views the relationship from the tarot. Okay, first card that popped out, Ten of Pentacles. So this could be generational wealth. It could also represent family. Let's see what else. We have Page of Swords. And then Four of Cups. Ten of Pentacles, Page of Swords, Four of Cups. I'm going to pull one more card to clarify. I don't think that she was trying to get pregnant. Allegedly, at least energetically, I don't think she was trying to get pregnant. It feels like it's more on his side that he was the one that chose her to have the baby, because as I'm looking at the Ten of Pentacles, which I said is a family card, and then you have Page of Swords, which is like watching, surveillance. You know, that could represent him looking at her like, who could I pick from my harem or whatever he calls the group of women that he's allegedly talking to in secret. It feels almost like he was watching, or he was trying to decide on who would be the perfect pick for him to have this baby with or have a child with. And like I said, I don't know their ages because it just kind of gives off like he wants a family. He's a single man. And I remember seeing something that he's very close with his family. So maybe he has pressure from his family that it's time for you to have kids. But it just feels like he did it on purpose. Like that was his intention, was to get her pregnant. And he did pick her for that specifically as well. I mean, he may really like her, but I feel like he really wanted to bring a child, allegedly, to give him emotional fulfillment. Like, what's next? I was getting a download about how, remember in the Kylie Jenner reading that I did with her and Timothy, I spoke about how some of these men and or women too, I feel like probably for both sexes, when you're an entrepreneur or you're in the business sector and you're trying to get in certain rooms, they do expect you to have a spouse or a family, because if you're single, and I don't agree with this stereotype either. The thought is that when you're single, you don't get as many opportunities had you been married or if you had a family. They just view you very different. And I'm starting to channel that. So it feels like it's that kind of energy where he literally had to figure out what's next for him, try to get a different room, try to grow generational wealth, leave his legacy behind, and who would be the perfect person to help him with that, as well as prop him up in a different space from a business perspective, allegedly. And then it was also going to give him emotional fulfillment because, like I said, I don't really know his age or where he is, but it just feels like the time is ticking type of energy, as well as reaping the benefits of having a family so that you could be taken more serious. That's actually what it's feeling like now. But yeah, like I said, I don't think that she was planning on getting pregnant, at least not right now. It doesn't feel like that. All right, here, what else about him? All right, next card, Ten of Cups. Again, family energy. We have Ten of Cups, which is feeling emotionally fulfilled, like you're in a very happy family. Everything feels very good and amazing. So yeah, he's definitely got family on the brain, allegedly. Spirit, what is currently challenging them in their relationship? And I'll start with Scotty. So let's see what's challenging her right now. Challenging her, we have Ten of Swords here, which is a betrayal. In the standard tarot, is someone with a bunch of swords in their back because of maybe some backstabbing energy. Either way, it's still betrayal. All those swords, all that hurt, that could represent allegedly all the infidelities, all the times he treated her bad, done her wrong. I've heard in my mind misused her. That's an interesting word. Misused her. Allegedly, I did not want to bring up the how do I say this? Without getting flagged, because I do need to go back and clean up part one. Hopefully they don't flag it, but playing in traffic, there we go. Playing in traffic, stuck in traffic. When I heard misused, it kind of felt like it went back to that. If you've seen part one, allegedly. I'm actually surprised it didn't come up sooner in the reading, but it's on the table now. So that's what's currently challenging her. This feeling of betrayal. You've had me go through all of these trials and tribulations, these women, me having to sit in traffic, allegedly. I heard the public has no clue about. allegedly. Different things that she had to do. I heard misled. All right, let's look into his energy and what's currently challenging him. So challenging him, I pulled Four of Wands reversed. Upright is like living in harmony, a harmonious relationship, a very strong, I would say a very strong foundation as well, but pretty much harmony. It's reversed. So in this case, disharmony with his stability, his familiar stability when it comes to her. So it feels like they probably are arguing a lot. It doesn't feel as harmonious as it did before. She is pregnant, she has hormones, and she's starting to also, at least it feels allegedly like she's starting to really see him for who he is. And he may be even switching up on her a little bit now that she is pregnant, unfortunately, and allegedly. So yeah, they have, it feels like there's a lot of disharmony on his side. He doesn't view it as a peaceful relationship right now. So that's why I said it feels like they may be fighting a lot, maybe a lot of passive aggressive type of energy toward one another, crowning their energy right now. So yeah, what is crowning Scotty's energy right now? Okay, so we have another four, which is Four of Pentacles for her. So currently it feels like allegedly she is considering her stability right now. It feels like it's more of financial stability. And it makes me also, so this keeps going back to the oracle cards where we had scarcity tactics. And remember, I did mention allegedly it feels like there's some financial abuse in there somehow, some way. Maybe he's even like I said, allegedly threatening her with, I'll take this way, I'll take this away from you. You know, you can't do it without me type of energy. So I heard lifestyle change just now. She may just really be worried about the financial stability of her baby right now and what that's going to look like in the future because kids are expensive and she's probably thinking about like daycare and the day-to-day things like diapers. It just feels like a mental list, heard, of things that she has to really like, she really wants to iron out now what that's going to look like for her financially and what her stability, like I said, is going to look like because she's not going to be on baddies. So an episode or two ago on baddies, they did mention that she was going to get her own show, but I think even she's still worried about money because it's really just highlighting her pregnancy, unless, so it hasn't premiered yet, so I don't know what it's about, but it just sounds like it's going to be based on her pregnancy. And like I said, I feel like she's just really concerned about how she's going to take care of her and her baby. Yeah, I just keep hearing mental list. And then I see the Magician at the bottom. So yeah, she's trying to figure out what her financial stability is going to look like, but also how is she going to manifest stability as well. So let's switch over to Lemuel's energy. What's crowning him? Oh my goodness. So crowning him right now, we have Knight of Cups. That could represent a romantic offer, a suitor of sorts, someone that's very good with words, that knows how to make someone feel good with what they're saying. I just heard in my mind like knight in shining armor. So yeah, it just feels like allegedly he's still talking to women outside of his child's mother or girlfriend. I guess I call her girlfriend. Yeah, that's the type of time he's on right now, you guys. It just feels like they're not spending a lot of time together. It's just really like passive aggressive, like ugh. It just feels so toxic. It just feels so toxic. I keep hearing that word toxic. Yeah, he's definitely pursuing other women, allegedly. Talking their ear off, texting them, probably sending them some money, buying them gifts. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Because like I told you guys in this reading in part one, he has a lot of daddy energy. Similar energy. Look into hopes and fears now for Scotty. Hopes and fears, we have the Hermit and we have the World. Two major arcana cards. I feel like right now her hope is that because it just feels like they're not around each other physically a lot currently, it just feels like she's really taking some time out for herself to focus on herself and her baby right now. And usually the World card could mean, it does mean like end of a cycle, completion, but for me it feels like she's taking this time out to focus on herself and her child and to prepare for her to bring new life into the world right now. That's her hope, that she's going to have a good pregnancy. It's going to her safe pregnancy. I don't think that she's trying to stress herself out right now, and that's probably the reason why they're not communicating so much. And that's why she's giving a lot of the energy that he gives her back to him. So yeah, I just feel like she's really hoping for a healthy and safe pregnancy right now, and that's her biggest focus. That she brings new life into this world safely, and she does take a break for herself to really her calm herself down, relax, lose some of that anxiety she's feeling right now. That's what it feels like currently for her. So yeah, she's really trying to make sure that all goes well with her pregnancy. She's going to doctor's appointments, and the baby is going to, it's going to be a safe delivery for her. That's what it feels like, which is good. It's a good thing she's taking some time away to really focus, and stay out of that toxic energy. At least try to. All right, and then we're going to look into his hopes and fears right now. Two of Cups. It could be like relationships, the energy I'm getting from this card. It's just interesting that it keeps coming up, at least like his energy as it pertains to looking at women. And so he's not doing right by her, allegedly. I want to pull a clarifier for the Two of Cups to clarify what his hopes and fears. Oh, okay. As I was saying that, Queen of Swords came out, and she's an Aquarius, so Queen of Swords is her. Now that I pulled that card out, oh, it could be her fear of losing the relationship, but he's not going to leave her. It would really, allegedly, it would take her to leave him, which I don't think she's going to do. It doesn't feel like that, but we'll pull an outcome. And I only say that because we have Nine of Cups. So this is like a wish fulfilled, wish granted. So this is what he wanted. He wanted this pregnancy. It's like she hopes for a healthy, safe pregnancy and delivery. He's hoping for the same, but it feels more so of happy he got her pregnant. Now he has the baby that he wanted. Allegedly, it doesn't feel like a paternal want of a child. I heard material. It feels like checking of the box type of energy, you guys. His wish was granted. He got the baby. I just got a random download that allegedly there was some work, there was some spiritual work to get this baby. I do not want to tap into that energy specifically, but Spirit just dropped that down out of nowhere. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna say that on camera. If it comes out in part 3, I'll say it. But a word beginning with a W just popped in my mind, and I'll let you guys watching this fill in the blank. It's one word that starts with a W, and that's all I'll say. But if it comes out in part 3, I'll tell you what it is. But I do not want to say that on camera. Yeah, Knight of Wands. So this is very fast, passionate energy, and you see it's a superstar, and you guys know what the rock stars are known for: sex, drugs, and fame. So it just feels like he's still in that type of time as well. He checked off the box, allegedly, for the baby. But it just feels like he's still going to be doing what he's doing. But now I'm going to pull one more card for them. I'm going to pull outcome. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know if I want to keep it. I'm going to do outcome for 2026. I'll just do a whole year for them because that'll encompass them having the baby and then the rest of the year. Outcome for Miss Scotty. I pulled King of Cups. Let me clarify that because I know he's not a water sign, but it almost feels like to me, and I'll let the card confirm it, it almost feels like the King of Cups and her outcome is going to be him. Because when I pulled the Nine of Cups, wish fulfilled, and then look at the vampire on the card. Not only does he have a moon right here, which is a secret, he's also holding up the chalice as well, a full chalice. Wish fulfilled, I got what I wanted in her outcome. But let's confirm that just to make sure. And then we have the star here. So it does feel like for her outcome for 2026, it's interesting. It's not giving me what's going to come about for her outcome, at least action wise. But she, from her perspective, is going to have her control. This King of Cups here that was hoping and praying and manifesting allegedly a new baby by her, got her pregnant, which she allegedly was not planning to have. I heard up in her face. I just want to put that up there because look, he's just smiling away. Just smiling away, celebrating because he got what he was hoping and wishing for. We wished upon a star for a baby. Spirit, I don't know if that was a warning, but I just saw the word depression, allegedly. The High Priestess at the bottom, more secrets. All right, so now I'm going to look at the outcome for him. Now, outcome for 2026 for Lemuel. So I pulled Six of Pentacles, which is like giving and receiving. So let's clarify. All right, so we have King of Swords, which is someone that's very cutthroat. I wouldn't say cutthroat. They're very honest, truthful. They have a lot of conviction, but they're also very intelligent. I don't know if he has a lot of air or water in his charts. I'm not familiar with his birth chart, but I'm gonna put one more clarifier. All right, so we have Temperance that came out, which I don't know why I keep hearing court for outcome for him. And King of Swords could represent court system and legal matters. She gonna take him for child support because this is 2026. And then at the bottom, I have the Magician, so being manifested. All right, let's pull one more card for his outcome. Oh, card just jumped out. So we have Five of Cups for the final clarifier. Didn't that come up in part 1? That I need to go back and watch the video, but I remember me saying that he's worried about truths coming out, and at the time I didn't really sense the court system or legal system getting involved in their affairs, but I did say that if some words or some things were going to come out about them, or some truths that were going to come out about them, that it wasn't necessarily that I felt the justice system in their energy, but it could, like I said, put a spotlight on them because certain things are starting to come out, and so it would put them like under the watchful eye of the feds, allegedly. Okay, so you guys, I really just wanted to make sure that the message was clear from Spirit about the outcome for him, because if I thought, because it feels like on one hand it could be going for child support, which would involve the court system, and so I wanted to pull an oracle card to see if perhaps just to get confirmation on what this energy is here. And I pulled looking you up, cyber stalking, studying you, getting into, and like I said, with the alleged sitting in traffic, parked stuck in traffic, allegedly allegations and whispers, it really could put the watchful eye of the feds or the government or whomever, the justice system, court system, starting to watch them. And I only say that because I see money having to be given here that was given. Mm. I just heard the T word, sitting in traffic, allegedly. Yeah, there's some, it just feels like there's some money given and taken energy here, and having to pivot because you're going to be watched. I heard higher ups, you're going to be watched. So having to take a step back, and the outcome of this year for him, allegedly, it just feels like he's going to at some point have to rework how he's doing certain things. I don't see like turning over a new leaf type of energy, but it just feels like things that have occurred or could still be occurring, they're going to have to figure, they're trying to figure out, or there may be a point in time this year that they get wind of allegations or whispers of the federal government bearing down on them or watching them, and they're going to have to figure out a way, at least energetically, they're going to figure out a way to do this better or rethink their strategy on how they're doing this. I'm going to go for it and pull one more tarot card. Yeah, I got Nine of Cups again, wish fulfilled type of energy. And then at the bottom, I got Nine of Swords. So I just heard you reap what you sow. So while it feels good right now, it could come back on you. Y'all want me to put one more card? I just don't know how long this reading is going to be, but all right. So yeah, anything else? Maybe I'll just do one more on the outcome of the relationship. The outcome of their relationship. Based on the current energy, what will be the outcome? Ooh, outcome of the relationship. As soon as I flipped this card over, I heard the word trapped. This could also be prison as well. But I get more of trapped from more of Scotty's perspective, allegedly. He trapped her with a baby. And again, Nine of Swords, being worried here. And then I just got back to the word for her as I pulled from the Oracle. I don't know which card it was. Oh, the Ten of Swords. Misled. Yeah, I just feel like that's more for her. She got trapped by him, allegedly. For entertainment purposes only. This kind of went how I envisioned, but at the same time, there were a couple of twists and turns here and there, but I think I'm going to close it out here, you guys. And I'm still considering doing one on Janisha John, which is the woman that they said was married to him, but then they later denied it. It was actually kind of weird. So I might do a bonus on their relationship. I'm still trying to figure that out. Now that part 2 is done, part 3 is going to be coming, which will be the fate of Zeus Network. And I imagine that a lot of things that came up for part 1 and part 2 are going to come up for part 3. So I'll be doing that here pretty soon. And that's all I have for today's reading. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Let me know how you feel about some of the cards that came out. If this resonated with you all, if maybe you see some other type of energy in the cards. I'm curious about that too. And let me know what you guys think about Zeus overall. If there are any other topics you want me to cover pertaining to Zeus Network, I can definitely tap in and see what the spirits have to say. I know there are certain people that I've asked spirit that if I can read on them, and I'm still getting like mixed messages. So I don't think I can read on every single piece of Zeus Network, but if there are specific questions or topics you want me to tap into, if it's a specific person or a specific show, I can definitely do that. So just let me know down below. And like I said, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys have a beautiful day, and thanks. Bye.